how your army service helping you in the civil service, sir?
I think, Swati, that's a very important question. What I feel is that the 8, 6, 7 years that I spent in the Indian Army in various positions, right from my early days till I became a captain, have been very fruitful. They have injected me with sense of taking pride in what you do, the pride in the service. That's first and the foremost. Also, I would at this moment try to bring your attention to the immortal words of Field Marshal Slim. Field Marshal Slim was an excellent field marshal during the Second World War, and now if you go ever to Indian Military Academy in Dehradun, when the cadets pass out, they get into the Chatwood Hall, and when they are entering from the parade ground into the Chatwood Hall, there is a small line which they cross, and there it is written Aakhri Pag. Aakhri Pag is the last step. Yes, you were cadet, and once you step, you have become a commissioned officer of the Indian Army. So it's a beautiful symbolic way in transformation of a cadet life into an officer life. That's in the Indian Military Academy, and same in Chatwood Hall and in various military academies. You have these immortal words which are written and blazoned on the various walls of academies, where General Slim has said that the safety, welfare and honor of your men comes first and foremost. The honor of your regiment comes next. Your own safety, welfare and life comes last, everywhere and every time. How nice it is. So what he says that once you become an officer, the men you are leading on your single command, they will charge on the enemy. Many of them will not return back home. So they will lay down their life. So what's your duty as an officer? This is what he said, that their safety becomes the first and the foremost. You have to be very responsible for that, for their life. Their life is in your hand. Similarly then, of course, the nation. And he says your own safety and welfare as an officer comes last, everywhere. Whatever be the conditions, good, bad, worse, you have to be least bothered about your men comes first. Now the same principles I have translated into the civil service. So incidentally, I am just mentioning it, not that I had really thought of it. I am the only Indian Army officer who cracked civil services exam in the last 30-40 years till now. And that, so having said that, this was just incidental now. Now, same thing is that when I joined this service, the welfare of the people, whether I was a sub-divisional magistrate, whether I'm a district magistrate, or whether I headed various departments, or which I'm heading various departments, it is the welfare of the people that comes to me the foremost. I strive hard, having learned from Army, to do whatever, whether it's implementations of the policies, whether it's formulating of new policies. Every time sleeping and waking, I am thinking of how or best I can serve the interests of the people, especially the, what would I say, the disadvantaged group. The disadvantaged groups, be them the tribals, the scheduled caste, the old people, women, widows, orphans, differently challenged groups. So I have deep empathy for working for these people, and I maximum pleasure I draw by serving them in a way. So their welfare, and of course the state, and of course the nation. I myself have learned not to give much importance to my own self. This dedication is something, like I said, in the terms of Field Marshal Slim's quote. This is what I have translated into my civil services also.
One more thing is, can you please share with us few experiences or memories out there in your service time?
The Army?
Your service tenure, few memories.
Army service or civil services?
Civil services.
Civil services, yes, there are multiple.
And some afraid moment came or something like that. Like, I want to know some few stories from you.
Yeah, so I will, and all these are based on, because today you are speaking about the veterans. I would request you to visit an institution in Punjab, which is called Maharaja Ranjit Singh Army Air Force Armed Forces Preparatory Institute. We'll edit it. I would like you to visit this institution in Punjab.
Sure.
This is called Maharaja Ranjit Singh Armed Forces Preparatory Institute. Now this concept evolved out of an experiment. Punjab being the biggest contributor to the defense forces, whether in the officer class or the soldiers, it was declining over a period of time. So in order to do that, I proposed to the government to have a preparatory institute where the students can be taken after class 10th. They will stay in the hostel and they will get all the training like a military academy, although they would be in a civil institution, this institution, and we will bear all expenditure, their boarding, lodging, studies included. So after time for 2 years, they are kept in this institute, and after that they appear for this combined for the UPSC examination for the National Defense Academy. I have great pride in saying that over last few years, we take a batch of say 25 students. Out of 25 students, at least 1/4 every time gets selected for. That's for the commission, for the entry to the National Defense Service. That's a huge institution, and I think it's my personal contribution to them. Another thing is that if ever you go to Amritsar, there is the War Memorial. Let me at this time categorically say that without the support of the government, especially the chief ministers, I would not have been able to establish. That's another marvelous institution set up at the cost of nearly 200 crores, which gives an insight into the martial races and the defense culture of Punjab, and I propose to do the same thing in West Bengal too, and with the support of the Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee ji, we'll be able to do it here. These are two very interesting institutions which have been established by the support of the state governments. Besides that, there are occasions where law and order problems arose in Barakpur when I was there. And I still remember I was fresh into the service, and there was a huge problem going on. So I was not very aware, and especially I had come from the army. So I rushed into the mob and then I found the local, the IC in charge of the Thana running after me, shouting, and I thought, I don't know what's happened. So he was running with a helmet, so he put a helmet on me and then took me aside because he said in mob anything could happen. So there are many other incidents like that, interesting incidents, but these two institutes come to my mind. They are very something.
After so many years, you have already served for our nation. Now there is few memories which still inside you or haunts you. Is there any kind of that?
Not really. God has been very kind, to be honest, and by nature I never had to. I love challenges. I think that I've been a sportsman, and I think without challenges are something which motivate me to do. And I'm not speaking only of the physical challenges. I'm speaking of the challenges that you have in a service. Maybe you want to start a project, paucity of funds is there, or maybe people not receptive to an idea. So to motivate them, to make them see why I am doing so. All these are kind of challenges, which I have overcome, and I think they make you stronger, your personality. They develop you into a real person who can contribute to the society in a huge manner. And I have been very fortunate. I have had a great support from the people with whom I have served. I had great support. I was working in Parliament and Lok Sabha as Principal Secretary to the Speaker. That was a very profound experience to work with a great personality, and gave me an exposure to how the political democracy works at that level, at the level of Parliament of India. There have been challenges, but yes, they have all made me a person what I am today.
Thank you so much, sir. Jai Hind.
So.